Well, thankfully there are a few individuals who are active on this page on Facebook. And from time to time, they are actually the glue that connects many of the old boys together. I recall two names. One guy was called Sydney C. I think he was a student from the 70s, late 60s, late 60s or early 70s. Somehow he sought me out when I was with the EDB to ask me to join the alumni. So that was how I got reconnected to the school. I gave up after a while that, I couldn't track any of my schoolmates anymore. So he was the key person, Sydney. And then another old boy is a gentleman called Ngui. These are some people who are actually they are transparent to the side. You don't really see them, but they collect they collate data of past years of graduates and all that. They try and connect one another, or facilitate meeting together. And so actually, I was just talking recently that we need to redefine what's the mission. I mean, Nanyang Technical was a school that became renowned in those days, not academically, but it was renowned to be a very good school for rugby matches. We produced one of the best rugby players, and much of the archives about rugby in the early years of the 60s, you'll find Danyan in there. Of course, there were other sports, other track sports and other events as well. But the whole intent is really to look for some common denominators that many of us with an interest could come together and form that. Yeah. We tried with the teaching faculty. Unfortunately, not many of them, some of them have passed on. Not many of them are in a position to really help facilitate that because they are also in their 80s, late 70s or 80s. So, this whole thing about the digital age that we have today is not very helpful. Anyway, I think by and large on a small basis, I think there's interest going on. The only thing is like how can we really catalyze this movement so that at least a lot of the history behind Nanyang Technical and related to that, the industrialization of Singapore, particularly the area, I think what's missing that you have shared with me, Kaseng, is that there's this portion of history which is missing. And you challenged me to redo my national service in my senior years by contributing to Chronicles of Old Singapore. And I think this is an excellent channel because really there are many of my other seniors that either have passed on, many of them have through specific occasions can relive some of their history and can tell probably a vivid explanation, but that opportunity is slipping past fast. And so really it's getting students together, find an occasion that we can renew on common grounds and find a platform like yours to tell our story. I have on many occasions have to tell my other fellow students with all the fake news and all the abuses going on, we have to take things with a simple faith. We do our due diligence. we find that a channel is good listening to, worth subscribing to, but the whole thing is really to be able to contribute back to our society, and that's why I'm excited about telling my story.